We're going to go to USA Today White House correspondent Bart Jansen right now. Good morning to you, Bart. What are you hearing from your sources inside the White House?
Well, they are still plunging ahead with saying that they are considering layoffs, that they are taking a very harsh stand, a strict stand against this potential shutdown. And so both sides are preparing for a shutdown in the middle of next week.
How serious do you think these furloughs turning into mass layoffs, how serious is that reality?
Well, I think we should take them at their word. Since Trump took office, he has talked about reducing the size of the federal government, and something like 300,000 fewer workers are in the federal workforce now than at the beginning of the year. About half of those took basically voluntary departures, which will be going into effect again on September 30th. And the rest were these thousands, tens of thousands of layoffs at agencies that he was reducing the size of or abolishing altogether, or, well, nearly entirely, such as the U.S. Agency for International Development. So they have shown no qualms about trying to reduce the size of the government. And so I think that any jobs that aren't protected by statute, basically, if Congress has said you have to do such and such a job, those jobs are protected, but there are a whole lot others that are created by a department head or the agency as part of regulations, and those could be wiped out overnight once the spending bills expire on September 30th.
The economic backdrop is an interesting time, of course, Kieran, because jobs data is softening. The unemployment's been going up. Jobs data has been weak a couple months after month. So that would be a bold move by the White House just with the economic backdrop in this country.
It also could be, though, Bart, a negotiating tactic, right, to get Democrats to agree to a deal. Or is this an actual strategy that the government is, that the administration is trying to do either way?
Well, I think it's at least a tactic to get the Democrats to the negotiating table. The thinking is that Democrats would care more about federal workers being thrown out of their jobs, particularly with the heavy influence here in the Maryland and Virginia suburbs, with a lot of workers here. Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries in the House has already said that federal workers should be paying attention to this and maybe vote Democrat in their gubernatorial election, which is coming up in early November. But Trump has also said that he, wants to reduce the size of government. Part of the fight over the overall federal spending dispute is that these hundreds of thousands of jobs have been lost during the year, but these were jobs that Congress previously approved. So we're still basically in the middle of a fight about whether those cuts become permanent. And that's part of what makes these discussions so complicated. The House Republicans approved a temporary Band-Aid spending bill to extend spending as it happens now through November 21st. But that's where Democrats have blocked that in the Senate, and so that's where things stand.
And Democrats are pushing very hard because of the Affordable Health Care Act. They want to ensure that continues. And of course, on the Republican side, they're saying that there's not enough money.
Yeah, there are two major health aspects to what Democrats are talking about right now. One is Medicaid cuts. Part of that is Republicans say, hey, we're just trying to get rid of undocumented immigrants collecting federal benefits. Another aspect of that is forcing people to work or try to find jobs or volunteer for 80 hours a week in exchange for Medicaid benefits. Democrats are trying to abolish those cuts. And then there are the Obamacare subsidies, the sign up for the next year of Obamacare benefits is coming November 1st. And so we're right in the midst of when people are going to decide, all right, do I want this or do I not? And the subsidies, the federal subsidies, are a big faction of that. Yeah. So it's very important to both sides. The Republicans say, hey, that's $1 trillion we're trying to get rid of.
We've gone back and forth on shutdowns for 30 years. We want to circle back real quickly to the James Comey indictment. What are you hearing from either White House sources or career professionals about the process and the indictment?
Well, I think Republicans and the White House are very happy to see what they say is justice being served, that they have thought Comey acted badly since that investigation in 2016. Trump has complained about the investigation into Russian interference in the 2016 election from the start. He fired Comey. He has thought Comey he called him a bad actor, a sick guy. So there is, I think, quite a bit of satisfaction in the White House for finally getting charges brought. But among Democrats and civil libertarians, huge concerns about what looks like the White House directing the Justice Department, which since the Watergate era 50 years ago has theoretically been independent within the executive branch, but independent of the president as it decides who to prosecute. Big concerns that the president could unleash federal prosecutors on any of his political enemies.
All right. Well, it's very good to hear from you this morning, Bart Jansen, White House correspondent.